Question 17. The information below shows the income tax rates for the UK for 2012, 13 and 2015, 16. Okay, so you've got different tax rates for different years here. Okay, where the personal allowances obviously are different each tax year, and then the basic higher rates are at different amounts as well. And of course the additional tax rate in the 2012-13 is 50%, whereas it was 45% in the more recent one. So it says part A then, if Di has an annual salary of 45,000, in which tax year did Di pay the most tax, and what was the difference in tax paid for both tax years? So what we'll have to do is work out the tax for each and every tax year. So if we start off with the first one, April 2012 to 2013. Okay. Now don't forget you get your personal allowance, okay, which is which you won't get taxed at all on. Okay, you don't get taxed at all on that. And when you take your salary, then you can work out what your taxable income is, if you remember that. So your taxable income, right, will equal your annual salary, take away the personal allowance. So in this case here, Di's taxable income, well, his annual salary is 45,000, but we take away his personal allowance, which was 8,105, and you end up with £36,895. So that means he's going to get taxed on that part of his income. Okay, so pretty much most of his income he's going to be taxed on, but there is this bit which he gets to keep, and he doesn't get taxed at all on it. Okay, so just remember that, right? With your annual salary, you won't get taxed on all of it. Okay, there is a personal allowance which you get to keep. Okay, in terms of what he gets taxed on, we work out this thing called taxable income. Okay, so that's why we call it taxable income, because it's the income that he's going to get taxed on, and it'll be his annual income take away this personal allowance which he gets to keep. So taxable income in this case is 36,895. Now if you go through then the different tax rates, 20% on the first 34,370 taxable income. Of course, his taxable income is more than that, so he's going to be paying the full basic rate there, 20% of all of that. Okay, so you work out 20% of 34,370, which of course is 0.2 times 34370. Okay, so get your calculator, and you get £6,874. Okay, so the 34,370 of his taxable income, he gets taxed on that. Of course, his taxable income is a bit more than that, isn't it? His taxable income is more than just the basic rate phase of 34,370. It's a little bit more, so you can actually work out how much more. Okay, so his remaining income, okay, you just take them away, don't you? Just see what's left of his, I say remaining income, I should say remaining taxable income, really, shouldn't I? Okay, remaining income that's going to be taxed. It will be the 36,895. Take away the 6,874. Okay. And that comes to I made a mistake, haven't I? I don't mean 6,874. I mean the 34,370. That would be a bit silly there, because he'll end up getting taxed a lot more. Okay, we see that there. That's his taxable income, isn't it? Okay, he's already been taxed basic rate on the 34,370. So let's see now what's left. So we've got 36,895, take away 34,370, and that's 2,525. So there's 2,525 of this left to be taxed. That would be taxed at the higher rate, 40%, because 40% is taxed anything in that income bracket there. So you work out 40% 2525, so 0.4 times that, which is 1010. Okay, so the total tax will be 6,874 plus then the 1010, which is 7,884. Okay, so that's the tax year, April 2012, 2013. Now, if you were a bit confused by that, any phase, well, not to worry, because we're going to do exactly the same now with the next tax year. So we'll just go through the same idea again, and hopefully it'll make more sense this time around. Now, in this case here now, his personal allowance for this particular year was 10,600. Okay, so his personal allowance went up. Okay, so of the 45,000, 10,600 of it is not going to be taxed. Okay, so let's work out his taxable income first. Let's work out what income is going to be taxed on. So you start off with your 45,000 and you take away the 10,600. You get 34,400. Okay, so he's going to get taxed on that. So he's going to get taxed less than last time. Okay, on less income he's going to be taxed on. There's his taxable income. So again, we go through the old basic rate, higher rate thing. Okay, now if you think about it, the basic rate will apply, won't it? Because 20% on the first 31,000 of taxable income, well, he earns much more than the 31,785 there. So you'll be full basic rate, 20% of the full amount, 31,785. Okay, so that'll be 0.2 times that. Okay. Which is 6,357, right? Now, of course, he has got more taxable income, hasn't he? Okay, so it's not just that. We can work out how much more he's got. Let's just take these two away, yeah? Okay, so there's his taxable income. He's been taxed on that so far, so let's see what remaining taxable income he has. So it'll be 34,400. Take away 31,785. So 2,615. Of course, then that will be, the bit that's left to be taxed then will be at the higher rate of 40%. Okay, so you work out then 40% of 2,615. Which of course is 0.4 times that. Which is 1,046. Okay, so his total tax in that year will equal the 6,357 on the basic rate, plus then the 1,046 on the higher rate. So that comes to 7,403. So you can see quite clearly then he got taxed less in this year. Okay, so what does it say? In which year did I pay the most tax? Okay, so you can pay the most tax in this year. You can say that, can't you? So you paid most tax in 2012 to 2013. And you can work out the difference, just take them away. Okay, so £481. Okay, and you've answered part A there. Part B, it says Morwenna earns in excess of £500,000 a year without carrying out any calculations. Determine which tax year Morwenna paid the least tax. Because she earns such an excessive amount, £500,000, when you look at the tax codes here, you can see which rate will apply to her income most, her taxable income the most. Because of course she'll get a personal allowance in both years, but that will still leave her with quite a lot to be taxed on. Okay, because if she's earning more than 500,000, when you take away the personal allowance, it's still a very large amount. And then the basic rates, when you do the basic rates, it's only on the first 30-odd thousand, okay, right? And then the higher rate only goes up to 150,000. But if you think about it, from 150,000 to 300,000, to 500,000, that's like 350,000. So she's actually going to be taxed mainly at that additional rate. So if you think about it, most of her income is going to be taxed at the additional rate. So let's look at where the additional rate is the best for Morena. Of course it's there, isn't it? Additional rate is only 45%, 2015-16. Additional rate there was 50%. So if you think about it here, of that amount of income that's in the additional rate, she'd be paying 50% in that year, 45% in this year. Okay, so there's a big difference, isn't there? So she'd be better off in this tax year here. So you can just say 2015 to 2016 is best. And the reason is because most of her income is taxed at additional rate. Okay, most of her income is taxed at additional rate, and the least additional rate is in 2015-2016 of 45%.